Hey vinyl community, it's Luke with Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Welcome back and thank you for watching this video. I've been doing my top 100 and as such I haven't really done any other videos except for 2 contest entries. And one of the things I wanted to do was do a very brief summation video of my March purchases. It's going to be brief because March really wasn't a very strong month for record buying for me. Hopefully April will be better. So, but before I show that, just a couple of quick thank yous. The first goes to first thank you I want to issue is to Tim over at DJ High Noon. Tim's got a great channel, and he was always said some very nice things about my channel, and I haven't had a chance to respond in kind in video form. I did, left a comment, but it's appropriate to respond this way as well, I feel. So Tim, thank you very much. And for those of you who aren't subscribed to his channel or not quite sure who he is, I'll leave the link below. I assure you, you will enjoy his channel. He is just very personable, and you can tell if someone is having fun doing what they're doing, and he is, and it's always a lot of fun to watch his videos, and I enjoy them thoroughly. And so Tim, I didn't get a chance to tell you, so I'm going to tell you now. Thank you very much for the kind words. That was very nice of you. Second is a gentleman from Cincinnati. His channel is William Now. If you're like myself and you're really just kind of new-ish into the jazz scene, I just started collecting jazz. Realistically, about 4 years ago, I started kind of delving into it. I had always dipped my toe into it when I was younger, but it was like, well, okay, don't like it. But about 4 years ago, I started kind of delving into it a little deeper as I got a little older, and my musical tastes kind of expanded. As you get older, you just find it, your musical, you're not quite as married to one genre. So that's what prompted me to start getting into jazz. But as you can imagine, jazz is a very complicated issue and very complicated genre to be unto its own. William's got a good channel, and he's got some really interesting insights into jazz, which help me out understand some of the new artists and some of the older artists a great deal. So if you get a chance, check out his channel. And thirdly is Amorphious audio, and he is amazing. If you are into older gear, you can tell from my stuff that I am one of those into it. He does a lot of repair and instructional videos on how to care for your equipment. Really worth a watch if you're into equipment as well as vinyl. Okay, no more babbling, on to what I bought. Before I do that, though, I want to just go and show you 2 magazines I picked up last spring. If you get a chance and you ever run across these, grab them. They're amazing. This is the Audio Annual Product Directory from October of '74. It's got a lot of data and a lot of information. The advertising index. It's got some great ads too, but I mean, if you look here, you got your microphone specs, receiver specs, headphones, equalizers. I mean, it really is, it's chock full of information. So if you get a chance, listen, and you run across them at a yard sale or something, grab them. They're amazing. And the other one I got was the issue on cassettes, cassette decks. Really cool, same premise. This one was from 75. So one from 74, one from 75. I'm kicking myself in the head for not having bought all of them. The guy had a stack, yay big. And I just kind of it was late in the day and I was tired, and it was like, yeah, I'll take these 2. He goes, I'll sell all of them to you. And I was like, nah, these are fine. Foolhardy. Okay, on to March's record purchase. The first one I'm going to show you is Joe Cuba's Sextet. Really cool sound, nice little upbeat Latin flair, a lot of cha-cha. Think Ricky Ricardo. and you kind of get the idea of what these guys were. And I think there's probably one of the Latin scene, I guess, was what, 1964, 65. It really became very popular. You know, so, and this was great. I mean, it's got enough of a beat, and a salsa beat. It's a cool listen. It's not something I'd really given any listen to earlier. So when I ran across it, I picked it up. I listened to it. It's pretty cool. I mean, not something I would go out and buy an entire catalog, but if I see one or two of his albums, I'm gonna have them because they're good to have. This one was amazing. The Sound of Tomorrow Today. This is soundproof. And I'm a science fiction geek, and I'm ashamed to say I don't recall the name of the movie that this cover is from. I've seen the movie a bunch of times, and I know one of you guys or girls remembers it, so just leave me a name in a comment. It'll save me the time to Google it. Great, one of those great little instrumentals, mellow. It's got that little sci-fi vibe to it, and I bought it because the cover is so damn cool. So got that one. The next one, Ma Jamal's live at the Pershing, but not for me. I had a copy of this already, but in this particular case, this was the Argo Gray label, which I did not have. I have the on the Argo Blue. Slightly different cover too, and but it's I don't know what we call this, easy listening jazz. I mean, you know, jazz for beginners, for guys like me. So it's really it's great. You know, if you're not a jazz aficionado, which I'm certainly not yet, it's one of those albums that you can pick up inexpensively. You can put it on. You kind of get the winds and all in the arrangements, and it's just really a fun listen. And so I picked this up as well because it's just enjoyable to listen to. The next two are both 35 millimeter recording on the Command label, and I do not recall the young man who turned me on to these in the vinyl community. I'd had one or two, but he went into very detailed about how the Command record label was in the mid to late 60s. The Audiophiles record was produced specifically in a very high quality, and although I'm not an audiophile, I can certainly distinguish between a really well recorded piece of music and one that was not recorded or engineered as well. This and Persuasive Percussions, both on the Command label, both fit the former very well recorded music. Just it's one of those albums that you come home, you're tired, you want to just relax for a little while, and you want to read the newspaper, and you put one of these on because it sounds great, and it's also, usually instrumental. It's well melodic in the background. It doesn't require heavy doses of concentration, but you can certainly appreciate the sound quality that comes through on these records. And as an added bonus, I don't think I've seen one for more than $1 at any thrift store, Salvation Army, or anything like that. They're just, they're not very expensive, but they're a hidden gem. They're well worth listening to. This one, I also picked up Sinatra, and very much in the mold of, or the logic that I picked up the Joe Six that as I've gotten older, my music taste, and as far as artists and music, is expanded substantially. And Sinatra happens to be one of those rare artists that basically transcends generation to generation to generation. I mean, your grandfather, or if you're really young, your great-grandfather listened to Sinatra, and your great-grandmother listened to Sinatra, your grandparents, your parents, and each one of them listened to them, liked them. You may not be running out to buy a Sinatra album, but when you hear a Sinatra song, you don't turn it off, or you don't look around you and go, who on earth is this? You know, like some of the other artists from this era. He just transcends it time and time again. So I bought him, and I'm slowly building up my Sinatra catalog. He's got such a huge catalog, and at the moment I think I'm up to like 10 records of his, 10 LPs, and a bunch of 45s. But and they're so cheap. I mean, seriously, I get them for like 50 cents or $1 each. It's very inexpensive, and the early Capitol stuff is really well laid out and well done. So I picked this one up for the very same reason. And finally, I got this today. I went to Best Buy, and I was looking at some new televisions, and they're starting to carry, at least here, they're starting to carry a lot more vinyl. And Steve Miller's Ultimate Hits, very nice record, gatefold, well laid out. It's produced by Steve. He's got a little blurb in there. I'll leave that up in case you want to read it. The record is a 2-record set. It's got a couple of new tracks on it that are previously unreleased. It's 180 gram vinyl, and it's one label is nice and white, and then you have the Pegasus, which has become, ever since Book of Dreams, is basically, I think he trademarked it. But I was giving it a listen before I decided to do the video, and it's really a great, well recorded, well done thus far anyway. It has a couple of new tracks on it, as I mentioned, and they would be, you have to forgive me, I really haven't studied it that closely, Living in the USA Live, Space Cowboy Live, and Seasons, which was not done live, at least it doesn't say so. So it was produced by Miller, and he's got a couple of insights in here. And one of the really cool things that I just found out, that I'm sure all Steve Miller fans knew, but I didn't, Les Paul is his godfather. I mean, you want to talk about impressive when you're at a party? Or you're like, the new kid in school, and you want to break the ice, and you're like, hey, yeah, and by the way, Les Paul, yeah, the guitar guy, yeah, he's my godfather. And you're like, wow. So anyway, as I said, a quick recap of thanks to Tim over at DJ High Noon, William Now, and Amorphious Audio, because he's got a great channel, and he helped me tackle an issue by watching one of his how-to or instructional videos on one of my, my God, I'm drawing a blank, on one of my dual, one of my turntables. Yes, I couldn't remember the term turntable. It's been a long day. That said, I want everyone to have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of the week. We got some sun out here on the island. April's here. Hopefully the record picking will get a little bit better. So until next time, cheers guys and girls. Have a wonderful, wonderful week and a great weekend. Speak soon.